Good evening. Welcome to our Wednesday night prayer meeting. We're so glad you chose to join us. And again, the great thing about the technology is you can be using this whenever it's convenient for you. But I do encourage you to stay with us and continue to pray, especially those from the Fish Lake Bible Church family. We want to keep you updated on what's happening and allow you the opportunity to pray for one another and to make those requests. This Wednesday night, we'll be sending out a prayer list again to those who are in the Deacon Care prayer groups and give you updates on where things are at. We don't have more current updates on a lot of things right at the moment because of just having started filming these earlier in the week, and so we have less information this time. We'll do Song 107 if you have a hymnal, but "And Can It Be That I Should Gain?" We'll sing a verse and then take some praises. And can it be that I should gain an interest in the Savior's blood? Died he for me who caused his pain, for me who him to death pursued. Amazing love, how can it be that thou, my God, shouldst die for me? Amazing love, how can it be that thou, my God, shouldst die for me? I trust that's your testimony of the amazing love of God in your life. Just a reminder that if you will type comments on our Facebook page below these that contain your prayer requests and or your praises, we'd be so thankful for your participation. Want this to be as interactive as possible. And on Wednesday night, we allow you the opportunity to share testimonies and praises. They're always such an encouragement to me. We also allow you to share prayer requests that update our prayer list. And so if you can share those with your deacons ahead of time for this prayer list that we send out, or send them to Pastor Stover or myself ahead of time, I will be able to put them on our updated prayer list and keep those out to people who are praying. And one of the things we want you to do is to pray during this time. And as those prayer requests come up, usually we take a break. This week's prayer meeting will be the first Wednesday of a new month. And so besides the prayer requests that you have, this is our Wednesday night to pray for missionaries. Now, normally I spend the whole evening reading from their letters and updating you. And we aren't in a place, again, where we're ready to do that. We have in a couple new letters, and I'll give you a list of some of the missionaries' prayer requests to pray for now. But primarily want us to think about our missionaries in terms of praying for them regarding their safety. This is a worldwide event that's going on. I've got notes on some missionaries, not that we support, but some missionaries that are sick. They tend to be in third world and what I refer to as second world countries. There's got to be a second. Does anybody ever talk about second world countries? If they've got to exist, because we have first world and third world, so second world countries have to be in there. But some of our missionaries are in places where they can't get the quality of medical care we get here in America. And so really need to ask you to pray for them during this time, that God would protect them. And should they get sick, that they be able to get proper treatment where they are. We know that getting travel plans back and forth, we had some missionaries who were planning on coming home on furlough. We had a missionary who was planning, I was arranging with him to be here during the month of April to share with us on a Wednesday night. The Rusthoffers, he was going to come and share. And just to pray for him and to pray for his ministry. Remember, they've had to relocate back to Brazil for her health. But he shared it this week, and it's so exciting. The first converts in the Muslim ministry that he has there in Africa have come to Christ, and a family has put their faith and trust in Christ. They live in a tribal situation where everything is done as a tribe on top of the Muslim faith, which rejects anyone outside. And so really pray for them. And so that ministry is just getting going. By God's plan, he is interacting with them, and he's not able to take the break he was going to take in April and come to the States. But God's in charge of those things as well. Tim Johnson with Friends in Action had planned to do some traveling. Of course, that's what he does in going around the world and overseeing projects in different countries. Travel restrictions are changing his schedule, and so ask for your prayers for Friends in Action and their work as well. We had missionaries planning on being home on furlough this summer and having them here with us. And those plans right now, because of travel restrictions again, are having to be changed or adjusted. Certainly hoping we'll be back to a little bit more normal, at least by this summer. But right now, they're not getting any assurances from airlines as to be able to use their tickets, those types of things. So what we're feeling in isolation here by being told to stay home and not do our normal activities, think in terms of those who are already isolated by their ministry, from their family, from their friends, from the things they're familiar with. This is our opportunity to connect better with our missionary family. We can feel a little bit what they feel all the time. And it ought to make us better prayers to have some empathy for their situation if they're missionaries that serve overseas. But also pray for our local missionaries. We support some missionaries whose ministry to young people takes place through the schools and through the local churches. And they're having to come up with completely different ways to think of ministering. And we need to pray for God to give them wisdom that they be able to carry those ministries on. The Van Bruggens, our Word of Life missionaries here locally, are normally working with clubs that are meeting. Since churches, most of them are not meeting, and clubs are not meeting, they're trying to come up with some ways to support our leaders in supporting ministry going on to our teens. We have been able to do that somewhat through our YouTube channel, but some of the churches don't have those capabilities. And so I pray for the Van Bruggens as they work with our local area churches to get that done. And the Gilbertsons, who work so effectively with our clubs in the schools here during the day for Rural Bible Mission. No school, no clubs. So pray for them. They're using this time to get ready for Vacation Bible School ministry in the summer, but they would also like to be wrapping up the school year. And that, I don't even know if there'll be any more school year. They were asking us to pray that there would be, but that's not looking really promising right at the moment for there to be a reconnect in May with everything that's been going on. So pray for the children involved in that ministry that they minister to on a regular basis that right now are separated from their normal schooling routine. They're in unusual, some of them family situations because of the school changes, and they're not receiving instruction. Some of them as new believers, and some of them who've been coming and hearing about God for the first time. And so also want to share some verses with you. Psalms 63. Probably going to take the next couple Wednesday nights and work through the psalm in just sections. I think probably shorter videos are easier for me to watch online, and it's a little bit easier for me to engage people if they're here, and things that take a little longer. But going to just share the first couple verses of Psalm 63. O God, you are my God. Early will I seek you. My soul thirsts for you. My flesh longs for you in a dry and thirsty land where there is no water. So I have looked for you in the sanctuary to see your power and your glory. The psalmist here, this is a psalm of David, and we know David's life story. We know his circumstances. We know that sometimes he's in a great position of power and leadership, and sometimes in his life he's in a real time of trial, hiding for his life, dwelling in caves, having to be isolated from what God has called him to and promised him. And at the writing of this psalm, he says, God, you're my God. It's you that I want. And I hope that during this time, when there are so many things being removed from our plate, that as believers in Jesus Christ, we settle in on there are a lot of things that are different and a lot of things that are hard, but it is God that we really desire. It is difficult to explain some of the frustrations we have as Americans who are used to freedom to go and freedom to get and freedom to have and freedom's missing right at the moment. One of my concerns is that we're changing America permanently to deal with a temporary situation. But my Americanness isn't what I desire. My God is what I desire. My God is in charge. And so if I draw on him and I lean on him and I go to him, some of my concerns and my fears don't seem as important. But more importantly, if I have those concerns and fears, I have a place to take them. This is a prayer meeting, and so praying is what we're supposed to be about. And the psalmist says, God, you're my God. What a peace and a confidence that brings in the midst of trial when we realize a personal relationship with God. But the psalmist says, early will I seek you. I don't know how you're doing, but schedule is my struggle. Pastors have pretty flexible schedules, and we work a lot of hours and different times of the day, but setting up a schedule when you can't do what you normally do is a challenge. I hope that early in the morning you're seeking God. Some of us are not morning people. Some of us are coffee first people. But God is a great place to start your day. And then he's a great place to keep your day focused and a great place to finish your day. But the psalmist says here, early he's going to look for God because he thirsts for him and his flesh longs for him like he's in a desert. And again, I hope that you're desiring God. I hope that some of you have noticed how much you miss church. I mentioned whenever I go on vacation, I'm not able to be here for just one Sunday, as most I ever try to miss when I'm out of town. But I attend church when I'm on vacation because I love to be with God's people. And as much as I love the worship service and I miss that, it's God that I really am seeking. And sometimes I forget that, and I think sometimes you forget that. But I hope that you're noticing right now, it's pretty dry and thirsty without the church, without the family of God, without time worshiping God. But we need to find new ways to plug that into our lives because we're in a desert place. There are not the easy access opportunity to go to the stream to get a big drink and to know that the stream is always there. I'm so thankful again for the technology we found to try to connect. I just spoke this morning with someone who doesn't do technology that much and wasn't aware that this was there and talked about how much they've missed being in church the last few weeks. I hope that you are finding a way to connect, and I hope that we're connecting you to God when we reach out to you. I have looked for you in the sanctuary to see your power and your glory. The psalmist admits there that his first impulse is to go to where he knows God lives in the sanctuary and to see him there. He wants to see the power of God. And for Israel, that's a place. That's at the temple. That's remember that in the New Testament, we are the sanctuary. God dwells in us. What we need to do is focus there. For us, sometimes as the church, we thought, I need to get to church. This is our church building, and we're so thankful for it. God has blessed us so much here at Fish Lake Bible Church. But when we need to see the power and the glory of God, we need to look at what God has done in our life. He took dead sinners and brought them to life in Christ. We're moving up to what they call Passion Week between Palm Sunday and Easter. And this is a time when we talk about the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. As we spend time in prayer, remember that we're going to ask God, who we've seen answer all kinds of prayers over the years. We're going to ask him to work in this time in a mighty way and protect people lead people, bring a revival to his church, and bring salvation to the lost, bring health to the sick and protection to those who aren't sick. We're going to pray to a God who has overcome death with life. God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all I ask or think, all you ask or think, all the prayer requests we're going to come up with. God is able to work. And we're asking God to do great things. And so as we wrap up this prayer meeting, I'm going to ask you to, again, share your prayer requests on the comment section. Lots of people are sharing our posts, and that's fantastic. They're reaching out, connecting with friends. I get posts and contacts from people from high school, people who go back to my college days, people who are worshiping with us from my church in Pennsylvania. But if you leave your comments on all of those other shared posts, I may not see them. If you leave them on the church's original share on Facebook, either on our Facebook page, Fish Lake Bible Church, or on FLBC Good Stuff, those are where we have easiest access to the comments. I'm trying to scan all the shares and stay connected, but we're not quite viral, but it's being shared a lot of places, and I'm really excited about that. But if you'd like to share a prayer request, you can even message me that as a more direct route to our prayer list. God bless you. Have a great evening.